Hi girls, this is Miss Paige here. Happy Friday. Today we're going to do more of our line plot. So I just wanted to go over this brief example here again. So a line plot shows data on a number line and shows frequency. Okay, so remember data is the information. So whether you're talking about the number of people that's have their favorite color, the information, the data is the favorite color. On a number line means this a number line is straight along the bottom and all your information is stored on a straight line. And then frequency, just to review the vocabulary word of frequency, is the number of times it occurs. So the number of times people in third grade said blue was their favorite color was 2. And I can see that by the 2 axes right here. And that shows that 2 scholars in third grade chose blue as their favorite color. So the frequency is the number of times it occurs, okay? If I eat 4 apples in the day, the frequency of my apple eating is 4, okay? The number of times that occurred, the number of times people chose blue, the number of times people chose yellow, okay? If you're looking at favorite colors on the chart, okay? Excuse me. Today's lesson is Module 6, Lesson 8. I know we're nearly done with our data module already, but we are on Lesson 8 for today. And our I-CAN statement is I-CAN represent measurement data with line plots. So the same thing, we're going to use the data in our data chart, put it on a line plot, and see what information and what data we can get from our line plot, and how we can easily compare different pieces of data. Okay, so let's get started on our lesson for today. Here is the board. Okay, I have my data chart up here. The information in my chart that we're going to put on a line plot is the height of tulips at Washington Park in inches, okay? Tulip Festival, normally you can go to Washington Park every year and look at the tulips that are there. This year they're doing online tomorrow. They're doing online on tomorrow, which is Saturday, May 9th. So you can watch it online and you can take a tour of Washington Park there. Or if you're going to be safe at a social distance, I recommend you actually go and see the tulips for yourself. So here is a data chart that has the height of tulips at Washington Park. So I took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So I measured 24 tulips from Washington Park, and these were the measurements that I got. Okay, so let's start to create our line plot. I'm going to draw my straight line along the bottom here. Okay, first I'm going to put a title on my line plot. What would my title be? Okay, you can use the exact same title that the data chart is given. So I can put it as height of tulips at Washington Park. Okay, because that's the information that this chart is going to tell you. It's going to tell you the different heights of different tulips at Washington Park. 24 tulips in total. Okay, along the bottom, I'm going to put my inches. Okay, so that's what I need to label the bottom of my line plot. I need to have inches on there because let me see that, every number that goes along the bottom here is in inches. Now here is what's the important part. What is the first number I put on my line plot? It has to be the smallest number. Okay, so I see numbers like 8, 9, 10, 11. Do you see any number up there that is less than 8? Go ahead, use your scanning eyes. Look at the data chart. No, okay, 8 is the smallest number, so our line plot starts at 8, okay? If I had the number 7 or 6, if one tulip was 6 inches tall, then I would need to start at less, but the smallest number is 8 on our data chart. What number is our highest number? Okay, so if the lowest number is 8, okay, I see some halves, so if we go from 8, 8.5, use your laser eyes, can you find 9? There's 9. Okay, so 9 might be the tallest, but maybe not because I see a 9.5, 10, I see a 10.5, 11, 11.5. I see a 12. I see a 12.5. Do you see a 13? Can you find a 13 up there? Nope, no 13. So 12.5 is our biggest number, okay? So I'm going to just put 12.5 down the bottom here because I know when that's when I'm going to stop. But I want to make sure I can get all my inches on there before I put it on the line. Now, because there's some halves on there, we need to count in, that is our smallest unit we can count by. So our next number is going to be 8.5. Okay, then 9, 9.5, 10, 10.5, 11, 11.5, 12. I'm going to remove this just so that I can fit it in. 12 and 12.5. Okay, now I have all my measurement points on there. 8 is my lowest number and 12 is my 12.5, sorry, is my highest number. And I have my inches on here because all of these are the measurements of the tulips in inches. And I have my title. I'm missing one thing. What am I missing? I hope you're saying, Miss Page, you are missing the key. Okay, and the key tells us what the information represents. And our key is going to be that 1x equals 1 tulip. Okay, and you can put that right on there. Okay, so for every number up here, that represents 1 tulip. All right, let's start putting the information in. Again, you don't want to score off the numbers you have because if you make a mistake and when you count and you don't have 24 X's on your line plot, then that means some of these numbers are missing. And if you've scored them out, you won't know which number you're missing or not. So I'm just going to put a dot next to the ones that I've done, or I can do a check mark. So 8. So again, I go to the 8 and I put an X on it. Next up, 10. 12, 9, 11.5, 11, so I can see it, 8.5, 11.5. Now here I have it on top of each other. Put that on there. I have them on top of each other, so I stack them up like building blocks. I don't go, if I already have an X, I don't go over it. Okay, just to thicken it, I need to build them up because now 2 tulips are 8.5 inches tall. Okay, not just one. So you got to build them up like building blocks. All right, 9, 10.5, 11. Again, building blocks. 10, 10.5, 8, 9.5, 11.5, 9.5, 9, 11.5, 12, 10, 11, 10, and 12.5. Okay, now I have all my information that I could possibly need. Okay, here's my question to you. Is the data in this chart the same as the data in this chart? Are they equal in data? Think about that. Okay, I hope you're saying yes, Miss Page. They're the exact same because we took all this data here and we just copied it into our line plot. Why would we copy it into our line plot? We would copy it into our line plot so we can easily compare. I can look here and I can say the least frequent height of tulips is 8.5 inches and 12.5 inches. If I'm looking at this data chart here, it's all a mess for me. It's all messy for me to read if I want to compare information. Although information is accurate, it's very hard to read, but I can look clearly at the data here in the line plot. So let's zoom in a little bit, and I'm going to ask some questions, okay? And then hopefully you will be able to answer them by looking at this data. So the first question I want to know is, what other height of tulips is the same as 9.5? What other height of tulips has the same frequency as 9.5? Okay, so 9.5 has 2 tulips or 9.5 inches. What other height of tulips have the same? Okay, I hope you're saying 10.5 inches because it has 2 also, and I hope you're saying 12 because it has 2 also. Okay, this next one here, I'm going to ask the question. You're going to pause the video. Once you think you've figured out an answer, you can replay the video and see if you get the same as me. This one here, I want to know how many tulips have 9-inch how many tulips are 9 inches or less? Go ahead, pause the video. 9 inches or left. Replay the video when you have an answer. All right, I hope you're coming back to me with an answer. 9 inches or less. So that means we need to count 9 inches, we need to count 9.5 inches, and we need to count 8 inches. So go ahead and count with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I hope you had 6 as your answer because 6 tulips have a height of 9 inches or less. Okay, next question. What heights have the most frequent? Okay, what height of tulips is the most frequent? Go ahead, pause the video and look at the chart, figure it out, and then come back. Okay, I hope you're back to me with an answer of the height that has the most frequent. That means the most common. That means it has the most number of x's because that has the most data. And we can see that 10 and 11.5 are both the same. They are the most frequent because they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I hope you came back to me saying 10 inches and 11.5 inches. Okay. Next question. How many tulips are 10.5 inches or taller? How many tulips are 10.5 inches or taller? Go ahead, pause the video, figure it out, and then come back. Okay, I hope you're coming back to me. 10.5 inches or taller means any tulip that is in this part of our number line. 10.5 inches or taller is between here and here. Go ahead and count with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 tulips are 10.5 inches or taller. Okay, that is us. There's many other things we can see from our chart, but definitely we've taken our information from our data chart and put it in our line plot, so it's easy to pick out the most important information because it's easy to read. Okay, I hope everybody has a great Friday. I hope some people actually go on Saturday and either look at the tulips from a safe distance or view them online because they are beautiful down there at our very own Washington Park. Remember, go on and complete your Zern lesson, and everybody have a great day and a great weekend.